To move forward, we are opening the stage for the first panel discussion for the day, which speaks about training to transformation, elevating the impact of L&D. And for that, I would like to invite the moderator for the panel discussion, Mr. Ankit Kalonia, Head of Learning and Development, JLL India. Then we have Mr. Vipul Gulati, CRO, Brainayan. Sneha Bhardwaj, the Head of Learning and Talent Development, IHG Hotels. Rishiba Sharma, Eco Mobility, please. Yeah, Sunanda Sharma, so sorry for that.
All right. I know it's a bummer when you finally realize that it should be time for lunch and there's another panel discussion. I was literally looking at all the faces around in the room when the host announced that one more panel discussion to go. But I promise you, we'll try and keep it short and crisp. The time that was allotted to us was 40 minutes. But given the point that we are just 4 of us, so maybe we can wrap up in about 30 minutes. But we guarantee you this will be a good investment of your time. And thank you for turning up for this event for Empire Forums. I think events like this are, first of all, a good networking opportunity. I'm sure you're going to build on your network, exchange business cards, and say hi to LinkedIn and add more friends and connections. It's a good forum to discuss the best practices and strategies in the learning space. And above all, since morning we've seen such great trends that are going on in the industry. So it's a good opportunity for us to learn about what's trending, what are those new learning solutions. And we just looked at one live example a few minutes ago where you can create an e-learning course in a span of less than 10 minutes. And that's music to my ears. All right, so before we start, I want to call out that I'm moderating for the first time. I was actually supposed to be a panel, and I just learned a day in advance that, I got to moderate this event. And, I was sharing with my wife this morning that this is the first time I'm moderating. What should I keep in mind? She said, just ask thought-provoking questions and make sure that the panelists keep a track of time. So my humble request to the panelists will be, let's try and keep it short and crisp, our responses, and maybe we can take turns. So we have a good list of quality questions that I'm going to be asking the panel. And my humble request to the panel members to try and keep it short and crisp, given the chance that lunch is ready outside. All right, so the topic of discussion is moving from training to transformation, elevating the impact of learning and development. And I think this topic is important because it's been about 6 years since I've been a part of learning and development. I was a hardcore operations guy, and I made the transition into learning and development only in these 6 years. So everything that I know, I feel that when I joined learning and development back in 2018, it was very transactional in nature, right? I still remember a call from a business leader I got, and he said that I have someone in my team who's not able to think strategically. Can you send him to a full-day workshop, and I can expect some results? And I was like, you expect me to be a pharmacist, and you're saying that you have someone in your team who has fever, and I prescribe a paracetamol, and things change from tomorrow. But yes, that's what we were doing, and I'm sure, like most learning enthusiasts, maybe you were not okay with that idea, but then you were still following that approach. But I think the biggest change, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree to me sitting in this room, is the transformation that has happened from looking at learning in a transactional way to looking at it like a journey, like a pursuit, and that's what learning is all about today. So allow me to introduce the panel of eminent speakers that we have today. We've got Vipul Gulati. Vipul Gulati is CRO from this organization called Brainayan, and Vipul shared a beautiful story about the name. So Vipul, do cover that, when you get a chance to speak. We also have, and let's welcome our panel with a round of applause, please. Thank you. We also have Sunanda Rao. Sunanda heads L&D for Eco Mobility, and you're going to hear more from Sunanda. And then we have Sneha Bhardwaj. Let's give a round of applause, please. who heads learning and development, talent and culture for IHG Hotels. And this morning we got a chance to hear some great insights from Sneha as well. And yours truly, my name is Ankit Kalonia, and I head learning and development for an organization called JLL. We are into real estate, and we offer end-to-end solution when it comes to commercial real estate, be it leasing, be it brokerage, be it managing office spaces of Googles of the world, Amazons of the world, or managing transactions or managing properties for our clients. That's what JLL does. By the way, we are not one of the sponsors for this event. I just took this as an opportunity to advertise the brand I represent. All right, so let's get with the round of questions. The first question I have, and that's for you, Sneha. Most business leaders look at learning as a nice-to-have approach and also are more concerned about the cost. So can you tell us how can L&D functions transition from being cost centers to strategic enablers of business transformation?
Thank you, Ankit. And I think we've been hearing so much of the ROI part since morning. I think it has gone back and forth into multiple conversations. If you ask me, I personally have never believed L&D to be a cost center, ever. I think I don't agree to the fact, other than the fact that, yes, this is something that we have to build it forward to. But I think it's a very famous quote, and a lot of us probably would be, most of our L&D guys would be really be used to it, is there's a conversation between a CFO and a marketing officer, which is basically around that, why do you have to spend so much, really, on our people? You know, we'll spend on people and they'll leave. And the answer the other person will give is, what if they stay? So it is not about what we are putting them into and what is the cost that goes into. There is no business which can survive without people. So people become core of every business operations, and making an investment. And I think there have been so many data that has been thrown to us since morning, which probably speaks about what difference does it make in terms of an organization who is ready to invest on their growth versus the organization which is not ready to do something like that. So I believe the conversation has now a lot more shifted towards not about whether it's a cost center or not, but I think it is more around how exactly L&D as a function has come out and proven how well can we really go out, not just deliver in terms of the programs, how those programs are making a definite changes to scores like attrition, how that shift is seen. If we are making right investments, are we seeing those kind of shifts coming in? And how many are able to grow within? If we are able to develop internal leaders, if you put that into a costing of hiring an external leaders, their numbers are itself is enough to prove.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Sneha, for answering that. Any of our panelists would like to share your thoughts as well on that?
Yes, to add to what Sneha has just said, when we are investing in our people, and especially in terms of the learning and development, it is never a cost center, it's an investment. Like you invest in your stock market, you invest in your real estate, it will always appreciate. The only thing is that you have to change the mindset and the binoculars or the way you're seeing that particular thing. So that's it.
Thank you. All right, and I would like to share an example from JLL as well, something that we implemented at JLL. Sometimes just thinking outside the box, and not everything could be a cost. Like JLL is a global organization, and we exist in 82 plus countries. And we were thinking we have so many experts that are available. If we could just connect these minds together, and they can cross-pollinate ideas. So we thought about launching a mentoring platform where, we using technology, we provide this platform to people that, hey, if you're interested in giving mentoring to someone, sign up on this platform, and then you can select the themes that you can identify. What all can you mentor people on? It could be career planning, it could be technology, it could be themes like sustainability or career mobility. And similarly, we ask people that if you're looking for mentoring as an option, if you think that could be a great development opportunity for you, sign up using this platform. And today, we are a company of 110,000 people all across the globe. And I'm proud to say that we have about 3,500 people who are leveraging this platform. I'll be very honest to say that it was not cost intensive, given that we have we have our internal technology team working on it, and it's a very simple platform. But the example is that, we have platforms like Quora.com that exist in today's world where people are already learning from each other. And every time I go to Quora and I feel fascinated that who are these people who are writing a blog just because they've been there, they've done that, and they are sharing their insights, who has this much time? And when we tried a similar approach at our organization, it was working so well. People are so willing to share ideas with each other and help each other. So there's a lot of cross-pollination that's happening, and solutions like this that are not very heavy on cost, but great in terms of impact could really help us as well. All right, thank you. Let's move on to the next question, and this one is for you, Vipul. Design thinking is no longer a buzzword, right? There are so many organizations and there are so many processes where they are looking at a human-centered design approach to think differently and think more about the learner experience. How do you think, what role does human-centric design play in transforming the learning experience?
Sure. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So I think just a quick introduction about me and the organization. The CRO sounds very fancy, but essentially it's just talking to clients and looking at customer success. So to give you a background, Brainayan is a people development organization which is run by a lot of neuroscience experts and psychologists. We're not a typical L&D company who will offer you standard learning solutions. And when Ankit asked me about Brainayan, essentially, so we all know what brain stands for, and Ayan is a Sanskrit word which is journey, right? So it's the journey of brain, and that is how we really operate. And from a pedigree standpoint, I think we are founded by an L&D head of Google and Facebook. So that's how we really look at L&D in a very traditional plus a good blend with what modern science talks to us. So that's about the organization. Taking a clue from Ankit, thought-provoking questions. So just a very simple question. Can someone tell me what does GPT stand for in ChatGPT? We've spoken a lot about AI. So anyone on GPT? And please, this is not to put you in a spot, but this is, come again? Okay.
Let them ask ChatGPT maybe.
So GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, right? Which means it's a pre-trained machinery at your disposal. Is it intelligence? It is not, right? What we really mean by AI intelligence is a model called as deep learning, where any technology that is being used is done in a manner to simulate how a human mind thinks. That is deep learning. And right now we are still in an era where we're just trying to, operationally be more efficient using AI, right? And that's where design thinking comes for us. So the whole purpose of design is not how it looks and how it feels, is how it really works, right? And when Brainayan as an organization, we look at design thinking. So let's say anyone who's doing a manager development program, you would look at content consumption, frameworks, assessments, knowledge checks. This is what a normal traditional FTM looks like. And when we look at human-centric design, it really boils down to the identity of the person, right? So in psychology, they say that every person is different based on the value, strengths he or she possesses. And that is what we really operate on. So we do the soul analysis of the person, who he or she is, how those impact narratives play a vital role when someone is undergoing a journey. So that is, humanizing everything that we do to the smallest lens possible, right?
Sure, thank you. Thank you for answering that question, Vipul. And we know that it's now more about the learner experience, and most organizations are concerned about the kind of experience they're creating for learners and thinking about each and every milestone. And thank you for sharing how you at Brainayan are trying to solve that for your clients. Good. Sunanda, we now move to you, and we would like you to share an example where you at Eco-Mobility have directly contributed through the L&D function that you manage, have directly contributed to organizational agility or innovation for that matter?
All right, so I'll take you to 11th of January, where the National Road Safety Week starts. Eco-Mobility is a ground transportation company where we provide the chauffeur-driven car rentals to the corporates, and we are purely into B2B. And we take pride that we are one of the company which is publicly listed on NSE and BSE, and the responsibility even goes more stronger. So this year, January, when the National Road Safety Week started, our brand ambassadors are the chauffeurs. So you might have seen when Credo was giving an example, I was asking for a chauffeur-driven learning program. So when this National Safety Week started, the one thing was that we have to cover all the stakeholders. Now, who all are the stakeholders? Our employees, our employees' kids, and the chauffeurs. So we just thought of that we will connect them with a session. Now, learning and development cannot be a classroom training sessions, right? So what we did is experimental learning sessions and briefing sessions for the chauffeurs. And we started with a safety oath, which is available on Google, which is done by the National Road Safety Council. And so we asked everyone to take that oath. The oath starts with the 5 points. The first thing is, मैं जब यात्रा शुरू करूँगा, I will take care of the road and the यातायात के नियमों का पालन करूँगा. So that is the first thing, and we ensured that today we have over 20,000 chauffeurs, and as of today, we have crossed 7,000 oaths, which is signed, plus or also recorded, the video recorded. So the 5 points when they say, मैं यातायात के और रोड की सुरक्षा के नियमों का पालन करूँगा, so that they own. And we literally did so, and to ensure that our employees are also knowing about the road safety, we as Monday Motivator, as Wednesday Did You Know, or Fundu Fridays, what we have done is, we have done something for the road safety. Now this is not a typical classroom training. What we did is a bite-sized, small, informational thing which has been circulated. And to ensure that the kids of the employees are also engaged, we did a art from heart competition where we asked them to draw a road safety hero, right? And they did it, they did wonderfully well. And this way, what we have done is, as an L&D, we ensured that the organization's first promise to any client is safety of their passengers. We achieved that. Also, at the same time, there was a cultural shift. What we talk, we walk the talk. And most important is, a typical learning has happened. It is not a classroom training, but a bite-sized mini, micro, jo bhi aap bol sake. But everyone today knows what is the Road Safety Week and what is the Road Safety Oath. So that is what we have done in eco-mobility.
Just to add on, to the point I was making, I think one thing we've realized is it is never about the content in L&D. And some of you may disagree, but it is always about the context, right? And if we can get that context into a training program, be it a OD intervention or a standard program, I think that is where a lot of organizations have seen success. Because when we work with clients like Netflix, Uber, believe me, any content that you give is of no value to those organizations. So the only focus through these L&D interventions have always been to get the context right, be it from an industry or from an org culture.
Sure. I think I just want to add that I think the golden rules that you just spoke, I think a lot of us can take that as a cue, and maybe we should make it mandate for everybody. I think a lot of us need that road safety, vows to be done.
Great. We now move to the challenges that we all face, especially when we are shifting that approach from looking at learning in a very transactional way, from that core training mindset to transformation mindset. This one is for you, Sneha, and you lead learning and development and talent for Intercontinental Hotel Group. And we know for a fact that hotels look at learning and development more like it's a very SOP-driven setup. How do you, and this is more like insights that you can share for smaller organizations who are still there, who are still in that transformation journey, what challenges does an organization face when they are shifting from a training mindset to a transformation-based mindset? And if you could share from your background, like how did you address those challenges?
Sure, thanks for sharing that, Ankit. Honestly, I think this journey hasn't ended. If we say that today is everybody in ISG has a transformative mindset, no. Has the shift completed? No, because it's an ongoing journey. You can never really have an end to it, kind of a scenario. But all I can say is the shift has to be a top-down approach. You cannot have a shift bottoms up. So it is all about walk the talk, as you say. So one of the key things, every time we are putting out any initiative, anything which is learning driven, it has to come from the top. The leaders need to take that initiative. If we are saying we want to build a learning culture, it has to be our leaders who's taken that baton and gone ahead and said that we have done this multiple certifications. I want to talk to my team about this. So it is not about that I'm asking my team to do those certifications, but just to go out and say, hey team, you need to do 5 of these certifications because I'm asking you to, is not the way you can approach any of this. Because this is something that we spoke this morning as well, that learning is a continuous journey, but you really have to put it, what's in it for me, as simple as that, for anybody who's involved and ready to put out that time in investing themselves. So the business case is very simple. You are required to upskill yourself. Why? Because if you are aspiring in this organization, then you would need X and Y and a Z kind of a skill to attach to it. You are taking that skill, fantastic. If not, probably we cannot get into further career conversations on this. So when it talks about your own career, when you start talking about upskilling yourself, you creating those differentiators between you and your peers around it, you know, it kind of becomes like an inflow of conversations around it. So that's pretty much how we have kind of managed to scale through for now.
Thank you. Thanks, Sneha, for answering that. And yes, when it comes to learning, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach that really works. Learning is no longer limited to just e-learning modules or instructor-led webinars or immersive workshops. It's more to do with mentoring, it's more to do with coaching, assessments, and there's not one way how people learn. And especially the fact that the half-life of a skill has really reduced, which was 12 years, exactly 10 years from now. In 2012 or in 2013, the half-life of a skill was 12 years, which meant that if you knew Microsoft Excel, let's say if you know advanced Excel, you know macros, you can exist, you can survive for 12 years in a row, but today, the half-life of a skill has reduced from 12 years to 2.5 years, which means today if you know Python, tomorrow something else will come and you will go redundant. And I think as learning experts, if you could just highlight that fact, that if you don't learn, you'll be left out, right? I have this example to share about AI, and I think we've been speaking a lot about AI since morning. 2017, our global CEO, Christian Ulbrich, made a very bold statement. He said that today our clients know us for being a real estate company who does something in the space of technology. And exactly 10 years from now, our clients will know us for being a technology company who does something in the space of real estate. And I think that's a very bold statement for a CEO to make, which meant we had a lot of work to do on the learning and development side. I'm proud to share that when ChatGPT opened for the world, exactly two months and 17 days later, JLL had its own version of GPT that it opened to people, 110,000 people who work for the organization. Today, AI is a part of everything that we do. And what we are trying to do is we are publishing dashboards. Now, on one side, there are people who feel enthusiastically about AI and become AI champions. But on the other side, there are traditionalists who are not very comfortable, who are not very well-versed, and they need some hand-holding. So we are actually publishing dashboards, and our organization wants 100% penetration when it comes to AI. How do we do that? And we were like, just if we can make people aware that who are those change champions who are already leading it from the far front, and who are those who still not comfortable, they're not experimenting, they're not really playing around with it. And just publishing those dashboards has really helped us talk about, who are not comfortable and how we can make them more comfortable through our learning practices, so to say. Great, thank you. My next question is open question for the panel. We are talking about modern learning ecosystem. And I think there's another shift that has happened is, maybe 10 years back, the whole concept of working with external partners and organizations will only have 10% of admin duties that they'll perform internally, and 90% of solutions come from external partners. And I think the shift that we are now seeing is organizations are investing on building a well-developed talent and development ecosystem internally, which means that they've flipped the game and 90% solutions are being offered internally. There are organizations who are hiring designers, facilitators, program experience managers, and whatnot to build a strong talent and development ecosystem. What do you think are the key elements of a modern learning ecosystem that supports the concept of learning agility, that supports continuous organizational growth?
Maybe I'll start and we can just, yeah. So I think, Ankit, you basically answered your own question. So when you were talking about it, we are talking, why do you think this shift happened? Why do you think this flip happened? In a very simple terms, you cannot expect external vendors to understand the culture of your organization. You can't expect vendors to understand your audience, your people that you've been working day and out. And hence, there has been a very clear concept of you start the work yourself, shift it over. So as in IIG, we guys have an instructional design team. We have a content creation team. There is a team which manages an LMS. We have an in-house LMS that we host most of our programs on. We make sure we are offering blended learning courses, bite-sized learning courses, audiobooks, you name it and we have it. Because when you are catering to an organization in multiple geographies, when you're catering to an organization with multiple generations at work, and you are talking about customization and personalization, there cannot be 100% or a 90% dependency on an external person to come and deliver and create the similar impact. Having said that, do we not hire external? Of course we do, because there are certain expertise in certain pockets, and we love to have that, maybe paralleled through as well. But that is more to make sure how we are bringing more efficiency and impact to the overall programs that are coming along.
To add it, I understand external people come with an expertise, right? However, the internal people have a business acumen, which cannot be taught to any external person. So if you understand the business, you understand the data, you understand what are the stories, good stories and the bad stories. So you could be the best team to deliver the sessions, may it be in a micro-learning manner or a macro-learning or a classroom or a briefing session. But an external person will take a longer learning curve to understand that.
Yeah. So I think it's 2 versus 1, right? It's okay, I'll try to make a case. So I think while I do agree it's difficult, but at the same time, I think for any one individual to have an expertise across, topics is just not human, right? And there's so many industries, so many people, and ultimately you're dealing with people, you're dealing with emotions, which is beyond business. It's more to do with your understanding of, neuroscience, brain, people, emotions, which requires an expert, irrespective of the industry in which you're coming. Number 2, I think the advantage that we are seeing right now in modern workplaces is a lot of, business conglomerates they have a lot of homegrown managers, leaders, who are not privy to what is happening externally, right? That's another advantage which can be bought into system by, companies like us. And of course, I think sometimes, culture is such a thing which is so strong that, people don't want to listen to anyone internally. That's also an area where we come and, okay, it's someone from the outside we are paying, he or she has to be good. Right? If you are or if you're not is a secondary, but you are good. And that's the mindset we also walk into. So there are pros and cons to both of this. And we've seen it work in some companies. Even now, a lot of remote companies that look at modern would want to completely outsource because it's not their expertise. So we work as an outsourced L&D partner where we are doing the training needs analysis, creating competency frameworks, and they want to have a very lean team. So it really depends on what the organization's goal is. Do they want to do it? Or do they rather focus on being, and delivering what they're good at? Yeah.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. And with this, we come to the last 2 minutes of our session. And I just wanted to give this opportunity to the group in case anyone Wants to ask a question to our panelists, this is your time. The biggest question, when do we start for lunch? Okay, we have a question from Anupra at the back.
Hi, everybody. This is Anugrah. I am also from JLL. I have a question. So recently what we've done is we explored the opportunity to collaborate with different departments that we have within the organization. And a point that you mentioned was that everybody internally may not have the expertise to deliver everything. And I think that's where, as an L&D professional, you start exploring the opportunity to collaborate. And what worked for us, and in that case, is we went out to the continuous improvement team, for example. We went out to the Gen AI team that we have, and we've gone to them and said, hey, you've got the expertise, but maybe we can collaborate and have you and us deliver something that we may not have a full-fledged capability to deliver ourselves. But what we support those departments with is the expertise of delivering impactfully. So we keep a watchful eye on whether the session is being interactive or not, but they bring in the expertise. And I think that beautifully worked for us. I'm not against external vendors, just to call that out. But we've also used some in our cases as well. But I think I just wanted to put that out for everyone. It's working beautifully for us, the collaborations. And maybe this is something that we can explore within the organization as well.
I'll just add to it. Here at Eco Mobility, we have something called Collaboration Compass, where a fortnightly basis, somebody will take a time for an hour and ensure that whole of the company is on the Zoom, and we talk about that particular department or the process or the SOP. So what works on contact center may work for the operations, may work for the sales. So we surely, this process is there.
Great, thank you. Do we have any more questions? I can see another hand up.
I have one question for Sneha again. Sneha, can you throw some more light on how you are conducting your training need identification at IAG hotels?
The TNI part, are you asking? Yeah, you must know that there are 50 people who just started looking at you the moment you asked the question. So on the interest of that, saving you the trouble, see, the TNI traditionally has been a lot more personal, where we have gone out to all department heads and have those conversations. We made a shift 2 years back where we realized that that was taking too much of our time to manage our, given the lean team that we currently are at. So we have started running through multiple surveys. So we do surveys which are more band specific. We run through bands and hierarchies. So we do band surveys where the leaders are asked to identify those particular set of needs for each of the band concerned. And then there is a collaborative calibration that happens across leaders, because the problem here at a lot of time what happens is X leader feels that there is an issue only with that particular team, and Y leader also feels the same. And most of the times, we all come down to certain common levels of discussion. So instead of talking in isolation, what really worked really well with us was calibration, where we're bringing all the leaders together in this conversation, saying this is what the overall survey looks like, this is what the analysis looks like. Let's pull out whatever is overlapping in between and pick that, get the first wins. And let's talk about interventions which are more specific to you as a team. And we'll take it separately, with you all as we move forward on it. But I think just being very collaborative about it, just making sure it actually generally normally boils down to 2 to 3 themes for the entire year. And those becomes our learning themes for that year. And we start building our courses around it. I hope that answers.
Not in the survey that you launch for your leadership, that is like open-ended, and you're not restricting it to certain themes of your own. It's open-ended, and then you come up.
We give them a multiple choice kind of thing, so we'll make sure that it's more structured because we know where we want to lead them to. So the idea is to make sure that we get some definitive responses instead of leaving too many of options available out there.
Right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you to our esteemed panelists. Thank you to our participants for patiently listening to the panel discussion, especially when lunch is around the corner. And may you have a great lunch, and may you have enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, just hold on. Thank you so much, everyone. Good.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much, everyone.